Welcome to this yin practice where we'll slow down, release tension, and create space in both body and mind. Beginning in a comfortable seated position, spine tall, and then closing your right nostril with your thumb, inhaling deeply through your left nostril. Close the left nostril with the ring finger, releasing the thumb, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switching, exhale through the left. Continue this slow, steady pattern, allowing your breath to lengthen naturally as you practice alternate nostril breathing. And as you do this, if thoughts arise, that's okay. Simply return to the breath, using it as your anchor. The next time you exhale through the left nostril, releasing the hand back down. Notice the effects that this breathing has had on the body and the mind. Throughout this practice, we'll hold postures for up to several minutes, targeting the deeper layers of connective tissue, allowing them to regain elasticity. Sensations will arise, and we practice meeting them with curiosity rather than resistance. And unlike yang practices, there's no need to force or push. Instead, we find our edge, a place where we feel sensation but can remain soft. And once there, we settle into stillness and breath. Transitioning into Reclining Hero. So knees staying close together, feet outside the hips, and then gently lowering yourself back. Notice where you feel sensation. Finding your edge, that place between effort and ease, that place where you feel sensation, but you can remain soft. As you find your version of this posture, softening the jaw, releasing any tension in the shoulders. And if discomfort arises anywhere in the body, maybe the knees, maybe the low back, reminding yourself that yin is about staying in the posture instead of straining. So if you need to, finding an alternative to this posture, maybe laying on your belly, and then bringing the heel towards the hip, allowing gravity to do the work. And if you'd like to have a focus here, maybe imagine the breath moving into the spaces that feel tight, offering that sense of space and softness. In your next couple of breaths, gently bringing arms by your sides if they're not already there, and then carefully pressing yourself back up to a seated position. As you come to seated, walking those feet out to mat distance apart, knees bent, hands behind you for support, and windshield wipering the knees side to side. As you're ready, extending your left leg forward, right leg tucks into the inner thigh. Taking a breath here, and as you exhale, hinging at the hips, leading with your heart rather than collapsing the spine, and letting the hands rest wherever they naturally land. Rounding through the spine as you soften the belly, unclenching the jaw, relax the shoulders. And notice this posture is about melting forward, surrendering, rather than reaching or straining to the toes. Notice where you feel sensation and where you can soften just a little bit more. Each inhale creates space. Each exhale allows you to settle, remaining in silence for the remainder of this posture. On your next inhale, slowly beginning to roll that spine up as you walk the hands back into the body. And using your hand to assist that bent knee as you extend the right leg out. Left foot tucks into the inner thigh, taking a breath here and hinging at the hips, leading with your heart. As you exhale, Rounding through the back body, letting the hands rest where they naturally land. Softening the belly, unclenching the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Once again, notice where you feel sensation and where you can soften just a little bit more. Allowing each inhale to create space, and each exhale allows you to settle. On your next inhale, beginning to roll that spine back up as you walk the hands into the body. Taking your time here and using that hand to assist the bent knee, feet coming to either side of the mat, hands behind you, and windshield wiping those legs side to side once again. Making your way to all fours as we prepare for pigeon pose. So bringing the right knee forward, just behind that right wrist. Left leg extends behind you. Finding your edge here, adjusting the front shin closer to the body or more parallel. On an exhale, maybe coming forward, resting forehead on the mat or stacked arms. As you're here, checking in that the hips are square. Leaning equally between both hips. And as you're here, checking in that sensation is welcome. Emotions may arise. But if there's any pain, making any adjustments needed. Notice that as you're here, the body will open when it's ready. There's nothing to force. Breathing into the hip, noticing any resistance, and allowing that breath to pass. Remaining in silence for the rest of the posture. On an inhale, Slowly begin to come up here, walking hands back into the body and taking a moment as you come up, really breathing into that front body, letting that breath go. As you press back to all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and circling those hips. Maybe moving in the opposite direction. And as you're ready, bringing your left knee forward behind the left wrist, finding that edge, adjusting the front shin closer, further apart. Right leg extends behind you, taking a breath. And as you exhale, folding forward, resting onto forearms, the mat, or maybe even a prop. Checking in that the weight is equal between the hips. Noticing the sensations or the emotions as they may arise. Breathing into these spaces. Notice any resistance. And maybe allowing those parts of yourself to soften as you exhale, letting it go. Knowing that there's nothing to force, and the body will open as it's ready. On your next inhale, slowly walking those hands back into the body, fully planting those palms, taking a moment here, breathing into that front body, noticing the sensation in the hips. And as you're ready, carefully pressing back to all fours once again. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders, and creating those circles through the hips. Maybe changing directions. Transitioning into gorilla pose, so walking hands into the body, tucking those toes under, standing with feet hip width apart, bending the knees generously. Maybe sliding the hands under the feet, palms facing up, toes touching the wrists, bending the knees as generously as needed, allowing the head to be heavy, spine decompressing. Feeling the gentle pull of gravity lengthening the back body. If you'd like, shifting the weight slightly forward, allowing the hamstrings to open gradually. Checking in. Notice, can you release just a little more? I invite you to use the breath as you exhale to let go of any tension that isn't serving you. Carefully releasing those hands, maybe deepening that fold for a moment, hands behind the ankles. And then take your time, moving as slowly as you need as you come forward onto your mat, and eventually coming all the way onto your backs. As you lay on your back, extending the right leg, left leg bent, and bringing that foot towards the hip or even towards the glute as you twist to the right. Grabbing hold of the foot behind you. As you pull the foot towards you, feeling the stretch. Looking over that left shoulder. And if you find that this is too deep of a twist for the body today, or if it's too active, you can stack the feet to the right instead, stacking the knees. finding your version of a twist today. As you feel the twist travel through the spine, each inhale expands and each exhale softens, allowing the gaze to relax, the shoulders heavy, and the breath is slow. Carefully unraveling here. And as you unravel, coming to your back, with knees hugging in towards the chest. If you'd like, taking a gentle rock side to side, massaging the back body. As you're ready to switch sides, extending that left leg, right knee bent as you twist the right knee over to the left, bending both knees. If you can, catching hold of that foot behind you, looking over the right shoulder. If you'd like, using the opposite hand on the top of that right knee to increase that twist. Once again, reconnecting with that sensation without strain or pain. Each inhale expands and each exhale softens, allowing the shoulders to be heavy on the mat, the breath slow. On an inhale, looking back to the sky, carefully unraveling here, coming on to your back, hugging those knees to the chest, maybe taking a gentle rock side to side, massaging the spine and the back body. I invite you to take any other movements your body may need at this time. If you'd like, continue rocking side to side. Whenever you're ready, transitioning into Shavasana pose, extending the legs, arms resting beside you, palms up. Feeling the weight of your body sinking into the earth. Imagine yourself as a tree, rooted yet open. There is nowhere to be, nothing to do, just this moment. I invite you to allow the breath to come and go naturally. And reflect on this passage. Each day, we must clear a space, physically, mentally, emotionally, so that life can flow freely. To be fully present is to meet each moment with an open palm, rather than a clenched fist. When we surrender to what is, we find that we are already held. Allowing yourself to soften into this space you've created. Slowly bring awareness back, wiggling fingers and toes, rocking the head gently side to side. As you inhale, right arm reaches overhead, bending the knees and rolling on to your side, using that arm as a pillow for a moment. Using that hand to press up gently, coming to a comfortable seated position. On an inhale, reaching arms overhead, and exhale, hands through heart center. Namaste.